First step is to design the primer. Since cybergreen dye binds to any double stranded DNA product, and its success greatly depends on the quality of the primer which we are designing. Two important points which needs to be considered is the primer efficiency and then primer specificity. So that efficiency means that every cycle, for each cycle there should be twofold of increase, and specificity means it should not form the primer dimer, or it should not go and amplify the co-amplicon or non-specific binding to amplify the second target, and that can be found using the melt curve. So when we are designing primer, we have done it yesterday using the Primer 3 and the Oligo Analyzer software. We need to consider that the amplicon length should be around 120 bases. It can ranges from 80 to 200 bases. Why? If you are increasing the size of the amplicon, the fluorescence intensity gets saturated, and thus it is difficult to actually calculate the real-time amplification. The primer length should be 18 to 20. If it is too small, then that will cause non-specific binding. If it is too large, then it will have higher melting temperature, and then subsequently problem in the binding to the or annealing to the target gene. The temperature should be around 60 degrees Celsius, that's the melting temperature, and both the forward and reverse primer should have a melting temperature within 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. The GC content should be around 50. It means that if the GC content is too high, again the melting temperature will increase, and if the GC content is too low, then that will lead to the non-specific binding because the melting temperature is too low in that case. Also, since the primer and the amplification starts at the 3' end, the stability at the 3' end is very important. Higher the value at the 3' end, which causes the better efficiency of the primer. And also we need to keep in mind that the primer should not form the dimer, whether with the self. It means that primer 1 itself is making self-annealing. This is the example which you can understand the self-annealing. It should not form loop. It means that some bases within the primer sequence should not form a loop, or the first few bases should not be the complementary to the last few bases. And the third important point is that it should not cause the heterodimer. It means the forward and the reverse primer should not be complementary at more instances or at more bases, so that it forms the dimer. Also yesterday I emphasized that we need to take care of the delta G value of all the reactions. If the delta G value is more toward the negative side, it means the chances of this reactions to happen is much higher. So we need to remove bases from either of the two ends, so that the del G value decreases, increases toward the 0, right? You already have a copy of sequences in the Google Drive, which you can try by yourself using Primer 3+. Activate the qPCR setting. You can cross check, and in the tool or in the Primer 3, you have all the explanations given for each and every point. Once you select the first set of primer, you evaluate using the Oligo Analyzer, and then in Oligo Analyzer you will be able to see the self-annealing, loop, and heterodimer by primer 1, primer 2. So these are the points which you need to take care when you are designing the primer. Now, once you have designed the primer and you have conducted the PCR, real-time PCR, we need to be critical that every tenfold dilution, it should be 3.3 cycle apart. And if that is happening, you can plot a linear regression curve, which we will be doing it just maybe in a couple of minutes, and then calculate the slope value, right? Based on the slope value, your efficiency can be calculated. And then the second point is the primer specificity. It means that what we need to understand is that the melting curve or the melting point of any amplicon is a very characteristic to one particular amplicon. Let us suppose 100 base amplicon is there, so it will definitely have a melting temperature which varies from the amplicon with a 50 base pair, right? So in case if you have targeted non-specific bindings in your PCR, you may get something like this with two peaks. It could also mean that there is a variation in the genotype, but that we are not considering right now, because we are focused on gene expression, and we are thinking, or we are assuming that the primer which is prepared on the gene specific for the I mean specific for the gene which does not have genotypic variations. So in this case, if you are getting a single peak like this, it's a normal good denaturing curve, melting curve. If you are getting a melting curve peak at around 60 to 63 degrees Celsius, it means that, and then if you see the intensity, in other curve you will see that 1.4, 1.8, 1.4. If you are seeing zero point 0.1, it indicates that it is a primer dimer, and it is not a specific amplification. However, in this particular case, you can see that there is a small dimer. I mean, in the fourth example, either it could mean that there is a non-specific binding, and then or otherwise it's a huge dimer, primer dimer along with your gene of interest. So these two things which we need to take care.